Alright, welcome back. We are about to make yet another more complex mini model out of our little sticks today. So whether you're using Q-tips, toothpicks, cut a piece of cardboard, strips, whatever you've got, we're going to be using that. And we're going to need about 22 in total of those, so have those ready to go. We're going to be making something sort of like what you're seeing above here, of course smaller though, right? Not quite that size, because we're making mini models yet before we get to our larger lantern. So here we go. First and foremost, we'll be cutting some of these today. So go ahead and get out those cutters that you got. Have your hot glue gun plugged in, ready to go. I'm using some parchment paper to glue onto just so it doesn't stick as much. And you can see I've got my 22 toothpicks here. Now yours might all be the same color. It doesn't really matter. I just sort of did this for visual when it comes to the video. Another thing, because we're going to be cutting these, safety, right? We want to make sure we're protecting our eyes. So you're going to want to get out some kind of eye protection. Now if you wear glasses, you're good. Otherwise, goggles. Maybe you've got some safety goggles or swim goggles. That works too. Worst case scenario, whenever you're cutting, go ahead and throw on some shades if you need to, okay? But we are going to cut 6 sticks in half, so it would make 12, right? So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to reserve these for later. Now, if you want to, you will be cutting some more in half. You could get it all done right away. But for right now, I'm just going to follow the steps that we're at. So once again, we're cutting these in half. Try to do your best at getting it, you know, in half. But if it's a little bit off, this is our mini model. It is our practice. So you can see that with these cutters, they should just cut fairly easily. Hopefully, because they need to be able to cut the bigger skewers once we get to that too. Oops. This is why we might need 22 or more. One of them just flung on the floor. So I'll maybe just cut one of these other ones up here right away, because then I can borrow from that for the moment. Actually, you know what? I'll just cut all those right away. Why not? Then we've got them for later. Alright, so once again, these little guys, I won't need those till later, but we'll just cut them up now. So we've got them, and that way I can put my really cool sunglasses away, since I'll be done with the cutting portion. Okay, so once you're done with cutting, you do not need your eye protection on anymore. You can put that off to the side. Alright, we are going to start off by making a mini hexagon. Now, I say mini, it's actually going to end up being pretty large, just because it has 6 sides, right? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to end up making 2 of these, in fact. Let me get that hair out of the way. Actually, I might grab... it's being a little bit iffy here. There we go. I'm just going to start gluing it. They're rolling around on me a little bit because my parchment is a little bit bent, but I know while the glue's hot I can always form it a little bit more if I need to, so not a big deal. Just getting the shape of that hexagon. It's kind of that honeycomb shape. You'll see it in just a moment here. Okay, so there's one half, and I'll start getting those pieces in place. You can see it's a little bit, there's a reason we're practicing on the mini ones before we get to the big ones, right? Oh. Careful not to burn yourself on the hot glue. Almost done with that first hexagon. kind of like that. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a bit. Oopsies, I'll make a couple adjustments here. I probably don't need to be quite this picky, but there. Okay, mini hexagon number 1. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to do the same thing. Try to straighten this one out more with my other 6 that I have here. So I'm going to need 2 of these mini models in total. You'll see why as we get further into the demo here. We're going to be making a more complex. Whoa! That one took off on me. Okay. I'll scoot those off to the side there. And I'm starting to run out of glue here. I don't know if you guys can tell that from the video. So I've got some more glue ready to go. All I need to do is get that right into the back. And sometimes you have to guide it down a little bit. Like you can see it's like not wanting to press down on its own. So don't be surprised if that happens to you too, or you have to guide it and tell it where to go. These tiny guys. Ah! Alright, see, even for the teacher, these toothpicks don't always behave properly. And you might have the same happening at your home. Those tiny little hot glue hairs, like I like to call them, they stick to a lot of stuff, and sometimes they misbehave a little bit. Here again, you can see, you see how my hot glue gun stick didn't want to like stay in place. So you just have to guide it back into place until it like grabs in the front part of it. Sometimes that is a little bit like it doesn't want to stay. Oh, we're almost there. A little another nudge there. Okay, so now as I'm working on this one, obviously my other one is still drying over there, which is great. But actually, before we even get back to that other one, we need to make a third hexagon, but this time it's going to be the full length of our toothpicks. Okay. I'm going to throw a little more hot glue in that spot. Any other spots? No, those look like they're okay. Alright, so I've got 2 hexagons so far, 1 more to go, and the third one, like I said, is going to be full size. Let me see if this one's ready. Yep, that one's ready to pop off. If I wanted to, I could cut off all those little excess bits, but for the sake of this video, we don't want it to take too long, so I will not. Of course, when it comes to the final one, I'm going to want to do that, right? We're going to want to have it nice and clean for your final. Alright, here comes our big hexagon. Let's see. So we're going to do the same thing, only this time using full-size toothpicks instead of the half-sized ones. There we go. I need to come down a little farther. Oops, that one came out. It's kind of a finicky little thing, isn't it? And I'm noticing that my parchment paper isn't quite large enough to get there, so I mean I could just put the glue down and have it go on the paper, but I'm going to guess the hairs, they're just tugging away. There we go. I'm gonna guess that this one's done by now. Let's see. Be gentle with it. Yep. So I can just kind of throw that under there. And that'll help so it's easier to release it later. There we go. Make sure everything's still in place where I want it to be. Looks pretty good. I still have hair, glue hair, just hanging on here, pulling things around on me. But there, that looks pretty good. It's a little bit lopsided, but for the sake of the mini model, we'll let that go. Okay, so my next job then, oops, we are going to want to connect the mini ones. You know how we did on our triangular prism where we had it go from one triangle to the next? We're going to do the same thing, only on one side we're going to use the mini, the like half sticks, and on the other side we're going to use the full ones. So actually I'll do the full ones for right now. We'll get those on there because I think that's going to show up better on the video. So we're going to go from here to here all the way around. Is this one ready? Let's see. I might actually do from the bottom first, and I'm going to do opposite sides like that. Here's where we're going to, if you can have somebody else kind of helping out hold things just to see where they should be placed, that can be really helpful. I'm just going to have that go down for right now. A little more glue. Right there. Careful again not to burn yourself. And that up there. Now you could pick this up and have it on its side too. So you find whatever works best for you as an artist and for yourself. But basically I'm just attaching this hexagon to that hexagon with the longer toothpicks or sticks, whatever you've got. Ooh, the little hairs, they are causing all kinds of trouble over here today. So I'm going to need to do that with the other 4 as well. We'll get a start on that. So we'll go from this one to that one. We'll start getting those in place too. There. As you add more to it, it'll, that one kind of fell on me, it'll start to gain more structure, right? It'll start to get stronger each time you add a toothpick to it. It'll get stronger and stronger. You can already see it's starting to be able to hold itself up. And don't worry if there's too much hot glue. I'd say to start, especially for these practice ones, I'd rather use too much hot glue and just cut it off at the end versus not enough and having it collapse on you. So now it's starting to be able to hold itself up. Yay! That's pretty cool. I might add a little more hot glue to this one here because I know that one kind of started to come apart. Okay, once again, add a little here, a little there, and we'll get those 2 attached. There we go. And finally, our last one on this side anyway. Then we've got to do our shorter side too, don't we? So there and here. There we go. And there we go. Excellent. Whoops, that one fell. Good news is if any of them do fall, you can always just kind of put it right back into place. Add a little more hot glue. And there we have it. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm going to let this dry though. So it's going to be the same thing, only I'm going to use these shorter sticks as my connecting points. Now, if you find that these shorter ones cut in half are too short, like they're not quite reaching all the way around, you can always go ahead and cut them more like a little longer. So you'll need a few more sticks, but cut them just a little bit longer where they're like maybe instead of cutting in half, cut them 3/4 of the way. And that should do the trick too. Our end goal though, by the time we are done with this, is we are going to have a shape that looks something like this. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different, a little bit shorter on the top where it comes back together. I just wanted you guys to get the practice with like, hey, there are a bunch of things we can do, tweaking the the width of it and the length of it using varied sizes of our sticks in order to make for some really cool designs when it comes to our final project. So have fun with this, be patient with yourself, wear that eye protection, don't have a little shard of toothpick pulling up in your eye. Nobody wants that. Careful not to burn yourself. Unplug your hot glue gun when you're done. And I can't wait to see this. We'll see you next time.